Hello, you rock star, you. I'm Christine Blasdell, your expert authority coach, and I help overwhelmed entrepreneurs get seen, get trusted, and get paid for what they already know. And I'm here to tell you you have some choices in life. Yes, that's true. Not only can you get my paperback version of the Social Media and Branding Survival Guide, Digital Marketing So Irresistible Even Your Ex Will Want to Follow You, you can get it in paperback, but you can also get it in a hardback cover as well. But did you also know that it's available as a Kindle? And did you also know that it's available as a PDF so that you can click on all the resources, all the juicy, yummy resources that I have? Did you know? Did you?
No, wait, maybe not.
So, if you're interested in getting your copy, you can go to the link that's associated with this video and get a hold of the Social Media and Branding Survival Guide in whatever flavor you like. Welcome to the Expert Authority Coach Podcast, the one-stop spot for entrepreneurs, coaches, authors, and business owners just like you who are ready to rise, shine, and finally be seen as the go-to authority in their field. I'm your host, Christine Blasdale, also known as the Expert Authority Coach, and my mission is to help you build a magnetic brand, grow your visibility, and turn your expertise into real, lasting influence and income. If you want to dive deeper, head on over to my website, expertauthoritycoach.com, where you can explore all the groovy stuff that I've created for you. And you can even book a free discovery call with me. I'd love to hear from you. Once again, head on over to expertauthoritycoach.com to book that free call today. And if you're enjoying the show, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's ready to step into their expert authority as well. You can share the love, and only good karma will come back to you. I promise. Alrighty, so let's jump into today's episode. Hey, welcome back to the Expert Authority Coach Podcast. I am your host, Christine Blasdale, and yes, I am that there expert authority coach. And I love having other coaches, other people who help business owners in their own unique way. And today's guest is someone who definitely does that. And since I have just recently gone down the rabbit hole that is human design, I thought I would bring a dear colleague of mine on the show to talk about it and how we can use human design in our business to help us realize like how we really function best. And it's kind of like I think of it like a roadmap or a blueprint. And I've
Mhm.
only just started going down this road. So Mel McSherry is going to be helping me navigate this thing called human design. Mel, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and nerd out with you on this because I could go down these rabbit holes forever.
Ah, so for those that don't know, human design,
Yeah.
what the heck is that?
So, human design is a tool that utilizes five different modalities that layer together to create what I like to say your operations manual. Other people call it your
Oh,
energetic
right,
blueprints.
right.
Yeah. And those modalities are quantum physics, I Ching, astrology, chakra, and Kabbalah. And what it does is it shows you, and it shows you how you are designed to create the business, the money, and the life that you want, and how you can be your most profitable self mentally, emotionally, and energetically with all your relationships, partnerships, so on and so forth, because it shows you the why behind your how. So you really start to trust yourself and what you already know are your strengths and strategies. And it also gives you that awareness of, oh, that's where I went too far. Oh, that's why this didn't work. So you can really understand and embrace your pace and your process to your success.
Oh, that's a nice manual to have. because,
Right?
because so much of it is and as a coach, it
Yeah.
is a fabulous tool to have when you have clients who are
Oh,
saying, I
yeah.
don't know, nothing's working, Christine. What's going on? Or, I'm about ready to give up on my business because I've tried
Yeah.
this and it's not working, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so it is a wonderful tool not only for yourself
Mhm.
and navigating your own business life and relationships and health and all of that. But
Mm-hmm.
also, as a coach, it is a great tool to have, don't you think?
Yeah, because it takes us away from this seek out the expert, not ask yourself. Because I know, I mean, I've been in the business coaching industry for 9 years. I've been an entrepreneur for 16 now. And I know when I was in the more traditional coaching space, it was that, well, what would you do, Mel? Well, you tell me what to do, Mel. Well, what's the right step, Mel? And that always stressed me out. And it always turned into me honestly naturally using my design. And then obviously when I read my chart, I was like, I got that confirmation of asking them questions. Well, what feels right to you? Well, what has worked before? And really showing them what they already have because we don't go there. We have an idea, we have a goal. We automatically think we don't know how because we've never done this before. And therefore, we don't even check in on ourselves. We just seek out the expert, which you should always ask for support, right? Because we can't do
Yeah.
this on our own. But what it does is we start to lose ourselves and we start to pull away from our natural profitability points that could make this journey as up and down and plot twist ridden that it is as fluid as possible. And so it is such a gorgeous tool I call myself a guide now, as a guide, because it's not about what do I know or what have I done to create what I want. It's me giving them that space and showing them and then guiding them to those answers that they already have inside of them.
Oh, that's very self-empowering, isn't it? And it's not,
Yeah.
and it's, and because in your entrepreneurial journey, a lot of times people will compare themselves to others, or they'll say,
Yeah.
well, they're on their website, they have this, that, and the other, so I must
Yeah.
replicate that, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
don't all work, as I've realized too, yes, in going through my own human design, we don't all work the same way. Or
No.
we don't all have the same style in
Yeah.
creating. And that's really what I think any business is. It's really it's a creation machine of some sort,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I love sort of those eye-opening moments or those success stories. Can you talk
Mhm.
about maybe a client that you've worked with who was struggling and worked with you and then found out, oh, that's why I'm a projector. That's why I'm supposed to do
Yeah.
that. Whatever. I say that because I found out I'm a projector. But and are you're a projector too, right?
I'm a projector as well, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. But but maybe tell us a story about a client that you've worked with. You don't have to name names, of
Yeah.
course.
No, absolutely. So, probably the first story that comes, or the first client that comes forward. So, she was in HR, corporate HR, for a long, long time and wanted to leave the corporate world and enter into the world of entrepreneurship. And I've worked with many clients who have had that same plot twist of, okay, piecing out corporate, moving into entrepreneurship. And that transition always comes with what I like to call corporate PTSD, as well as this misunderstanding of what it takes to not only what to create a business, but also the fact that they can't hide behind anything like they could in a corporate
Right.
environment. It's
Right.
them. And so then there's this whole almost identity crisis of, well, I know that successful entrepreneurs talk like this, act like this, especially those that, identify as women or assigned female at birth, like they have this certain persona. That's what I must copy. Or they have what you mentioned earlier, this certain framework. That's what I must copy. And she had done that for about a year and a half, where she was going into these spaces thinking that they were going to give her the answer and then automatically feeling like she wasn't being seen. She felt, and her words would be like, I would go in and then instantly I wanted to rebel. Instantly, I want to tell them, well, no, I don't want to do that. Well, no. But she didn't know why that was feeling so off to her. And so she just got frustrated because she's spending all of this money and all this time with people that are supposed to know the answer, and nobody's listening to her. And so she found me on LinkedIn and originally had her first reading with me. And my favorite, this happens every single reading. My favorite part of these readings is when I see my client's shoulders drop and they just go, oh, thank you. That, Okay, I was right. So for her, she's what's called a manifesting generator, which means she is multifaceted. She can do multiple things, quote unquote, at the same time, very profitably. And I always say to my managers, usually how you know you're a manager, if you don't know yet, is when somebody tells you to niche down and you just want to punch
You
them in the
know,
face. Like
right,
no, this feels so unnatural to me. That's probably because you're a manager, and that's not the way to think about it. It's
right,
finding the through line of all of the things that you want to do, as well as prioritizing them. Is it something you want to be part of your business, or is it just something you love to do that you can use that energy for? Because you have so much energy.
right.
And so, even just with that initial information, and in an initial reading with me, we go over more than just your type, but that's your overarching energetic type, right? Even just in that first 20 minutes of us going through her type and her strategy, she was like, "Oh, oh, okay. So when I wanted to do this, that wasn't crazy, right?" I'm like, "No, that's it. Yeah, that's perfectly how you're designed to share who you are and support people the way that you want to support." And even in just that moment, you could see just the excitement back in her business because she noticed then what was really hers and what wasn't, and how she could
Mm,
just start shifting what wasn't hers into either something that was hers or completely blessing and releasing it because she now had the proof in the vernacular of why this wasn't working for her.
right.
And now she's been with me for on and off for about 2.5 years now. The way that she builds her business is so creative and she's so excited about every single part of it. One time she even created a webinar, an HR webinar based off of archetypes from characters from Sarah J. Maas series that she was obsessed with. Like she just the way that she can see things is so cool and so her. And the fact that she had the space and the quote unquote permission with me to be like, yeah, no, that totally makes sense in this through line. And to step into her own space and her own business fully confident in how she wants to attract people, how she wants to talk with them, how she wants to create these opportunities. She's crushing it and crushing it in a way where it's not just on paper, it is holistically in
Yeah.
every sense of it. Even when she has rough days, and I hold space for those as well, it's not to the degree as it was before. It's more of a, ooh, it's time to reset, or ooh, I did go too far again because we're human and we do that. Where can I come back to myself and where can I come back to that pace and that process?
That is huge. That is huge. And it's, and especially as women, you know, in business, we we can tend to push those intuitive things too, like what feels
Yeah.
right. We can
Yeah.
tend to push those aside and to say, well, that's not, I mean, finding out that I was, a projector helped me in a lot of different, and we're going to dive into projectors because you and I both are projectors and we're going to be able to talk about it and we're going to talk about it. But
Hmm.
just even the whole thing, like flipping through my chart, realizing that the way that I work really well
Yeah.
is is the way that I work really well. And it
Yeah.
and I've known it, but trying to fit it's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Do you know?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I don't do well going to a 9 to 5 job, day
Yeah.
in, day out in an office. I need to have my creativity. I need to have my downtime. I need to take breaks. I need to take a nap at this point.
Yeah.
I, I mean,
Yeah.
but having permission going, yes, I can take a nap in the middle of the day because
Hmm.
I I've put all this energy, I've done all this work, and now I need to sort of reset a little bit
Yeah.
and just chill, and then I can
Yeah.
come back. And so it just gives you permission to
Yeah.
work at a much better pace and the way that your system is set up, I guess.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's wild. So let's jump into projectors, shall we?
Yeah. Let's.
So, so what like when you first uh, dove into human design? What was
Yeah.
on the projector scale? What were some of the things, the highlights that you saw and you went, "Oh, that's so me."
Well, the whole thing, which is why it initially made me sob when I read my entire chart, it was just like, oh, for the first time, it's me and not just a piece of me in a story or, just a little glimmer of something. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It was me. And a couple of the things that made me giggle, because so we're just going to stick to the energetic type, because I do want to
Yeah,
say this is
yeah.
that, human design is I call it the ultimate onion of personal development. There are many layers to this, and
Yes.
your energetic type is just the overarching energetic theme. It's not everything you need to know to make massive decisions or shifts in your business. But with that said, when I found out I was a projector, my shoulder drop moment was when I found out I don't have natural energy. I receive it from others. And to me, that helped me understand why I coined myself an extroverted introvert.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I'm with people, oh man, if I'm with the right people, I could be up till 5 in the morning if you wanted me to. Like I could be engaging, exciting, all these things. And then I would use that energy outside of that. And then I would just completely exhaust myself out. I used to fight myself about my quote unquote consistency because to a successful, quote unquote, successful person, it's the same thing every day. And you got to, maintain this, da, 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 da. And I would go crazy because I was with energetic people and I was saying yes to things without thinking about it. And then I wouldn't want to talk to people for 2 weeks. And I would just
Right.
be exhausted. And then I would get mad at myself because like, well, I did this last week. Why can't I do it
Right.
this week? And if I'm this way, like how am I supposed to be successful if I can't maintain this quote unquote consistency?
Yeah.
And then when I read as a projector, like, no, no, you don't have a natural energy source. Therefore, you have to be aware of what you schedule throughout your day when you're not around people. And when you're around people, you need to have time to dispel that energy healthily,
Yes.
not overextending yourself. That just gave me oh, okay, so my consistency is different than a traditional definition of that. And human design does that. It really helps you define words that have a traditional context to, so where you really understand how you can utilize it and make it yours. And so that was probably the biggest thing was, oh, I'm not meant to have 6 meetings every single day and then network at night and then speak and then do. Ooh, no, I have 3 to 4 hours of natural quote unquote energy. Okay, how do I want to prioritize that? And then when I have those extra bursts with people, how do I make sure I am taking care of myself and utilizing that in the most profitable and healthy way?
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's yeah, and we're talking about the sort of the major archetype of projector, and there are
Yeah.
different elements. It's kind of like, when people say, I'm a Scorpio. Okay, I'm a Scorpio. That's my sun sign. But then there's all these other things, your moon,
Absolutely.
your
Yeah.
rising, your Venus, and
Yeah, your
all those
nodes
other
and
things.
yeah.
So there's all those different layers. But I
Yeah.
think the big one for me on projector was it gave me permission to do my thing, and not
Mm.
because one of the things is that projector, we are to wait for the invitation. And when you're someone who's trying to market your business, or
Yeah. Yeah.
to bring in new clients, to be seen, heard, and trusted, right?
Yeah.
That can come up against that, and it
Hmm.
can be very frustrating for projectors who are like, wait, I need to I need to post more social media, I need to do
I
videos,
have to go
I
for
need
the
to do all this,
ask. I have to. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I need to do all this stuff, I need to upskill, blah
Yep.
blah blah blah. And yet, from my understanding, is that when you can stay in your lane of creativity and be the
Hmm.
genius that you are, just do
Hmm.
your genius stuff.
Hmm.
And in the process of doing your genius stuff,
Hmm.
the right people will be magnetized to you. The right people
Hmm.
will see you, and they'll
Yeah.
invite you because
Hmm.
they're gonna reach out to you. Now that's very frustrating.
Oh, yeah. When I read that part too, I'm glad that you brought that up. That that was completely opposite of what I'd done successfully for 3 years, which was I wake up at 5 in the morning. I have my 20 people that I stalk and reach out to. I do my research on networking events and then I had a whole process on how to respectfully stalk and go for the ask of speaking
Right.
engagements and masterminds and things like that, right? And so when I read that, I was like, oh, but really? But what was interesting is when I had that lens, I looked back on all 297 talks that I did over 2.5 years.
Wow.
And I looked at the ROI of that, again, mentally, emotionally, energetically, and financially. And I then saw with my own eyes that my most profitable talks weren't ones that I reached out and sought out. They were ones that I was invited to.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, but then it also helps you call in that support because if there is something that you really want to do more of. So for example, the last 2 years being on people's podcasts have really been a passion of mine. And so I was working with an amazing company to pitch me on amazing shows that were connected to who I wanted to spend time with. And to me, that is such a projector move because what it did was I delegated to somebody else whose company is to do the reach out for me.
Yeah.
And then the way that they're structured is they then introduce me to the host. I listen to the show and I have full say on if I say yes. And then I have full say of when that
Yes.
interview gets scheduled.
Yeah.
So it perfectly matches my pace and my process. So it's another way for you to really connect you and invest in the support that's going to keep you in alignment. It doesn't mean you and I just sit here and are thumbing it like it's
Yeah. Yeah. Because
like we're
people
not quiet at all.
when they first find out they're a projector, they're like, "Oh, great! So I'm just supposed to sit around and
Right?
somebody's gonna knock at my door, right?" No, dear.
Yeah.
You
No, no,
know,
no, 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 no,
no,
no.
you still need to do the things,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
it
exactly.
does switch it. And the cool thing is that with projectors, we are already natural born leaders,
Yeah.
speakers. We are the
Hmm.
people that people come
We're
to.
the guides.
We're
Yeah.
the guides.
Yep.
That's already there. Now, that said, we do need
Hmm.
to communicate our expert authority. We need to communicate what we're really good at and jazzed
Yeah,
about. We need to
absolutely.
communicate that on our social medias, but on our websites and things like that. But it's not this desperation thing. It's not this, oh my
No.
gosh, I got to get more clients. It's that stressor is really taken, away from that. Now,
Hmm.
that said, we have these other things, right? And I'm not going to get into all of them because there's the type, which is projector. Then there's the
Hmm.
strategy, which is
Hmm.
very helpful as well. Knowing,
Hmm.
the strategy is wait for the invitation. Okay. But then
Right.
you've got definition, you've got inner authority, profile, incarnation, cross, whatever that is,
Yeah.
signature. So
Not
what? So
self.
let's
Yep.
so let's pick one of those. Like, okay, signature. So people might say, well, what is my
Yeah.
signature? Now, my signature is success. Okay,
Hmm.
what does that mean?
Yeah. So again, each type comes with its own. The only caveat to that is generator has a subcategory which is manifesting generator, so they share the same not self and signature. But with that said, what your signature is your ping that you are in alignment to in your design. So success, I always love to ask my projectors, well, what does success mean to you? What does
Yeah,
success feel like to you? Because to a lot of us, success is the end all be all, but we really actually don't even know what that means to us. We might put a number to it, but that's not good enough
right,
because does that
right.
mean you're not successful? Like, that's not fair. And so what that does is it gives you a gauge of how was your day? Did you feel successful today? And what does successful mean to you? Because on the opposite end of that spectrum for us is our not self, which means these are the pings that we have moved too far outside of projector land, and that's bitterness. So when you're doing something, you're like, "Darn, I don't want to do it." That means it's not supposed to be part of your system. Like
That's
it's that
tax. That's
inner
tax time.
guidance.
Tax time. I have.
Yeah.
No. No,
Yeah, it's
I
just
flipped the
chores for
script
me in
on
general.
I flipped the script on the whole tax time thing because when I'm doing it, I go, so excited. I say it out loud. I'm so excited to do my taxes because I get to pay taxes. I get to pay
Y-
taxes, and it used to be back in the
Yeah.
day when we wrote checks
Hmm. Oh yeah.
before you were born. No,
No,
this
I think we're about the same age.
yeah, no, when I would write the check to the
Yeah.
Internal Revenue Service. I wrote on the check here's the money, and then in the note I said, please use this for good and positive purposes,
Really?
knowing what they used the money for. But I would just
Right.
say, please, on my money,
Right. Just mine.
build a school or help the
Right.
elderly, something positive.
Yeah.
But I would put a positive spin on it that, hey,
Yeah.
I I have to, because people would say out of their mouths, I have to do my taxes.
Yeah.
Now, I have to do something does not sound good, right?
Right.
It doesn't.
Or I
So
should.
when you
Yeah.
turn it to to,
Yeah.
I get to pay tax. I made enough money that I get to pay taxes on it. Because if I didn't make any money, I wouldn't have to pay
Yeah.
taxes, right? So
Yep.
I would switch it around a little bit
I love
so that
that.
I didn't have the bitterness of
Yeah.
all.
And that's another way to view at it too. It's like, okay, so how can I reframe something to make it at least feel fluid? Maybe not lovely, but fluid.
Yeah.
And I think when you can't do that, especially when you are around people or in spaces where you're just leaving it feeling like, oh, why can't I do this? Or, oh, what's wrong with me? Why isn't this working? I'm fucking bitter.
Yeah.
Then that's a really big indicator that they're not seeing you. This isn't the space or the support for you. So it's either how can you have a conversation to express, what your needs and wants and expectations are? Or it could just be, no, this just isn't designed for me. And it brings you back to, okay, so then how do I want to feel successful? What is success to me in this moment?
Yeah. And that success, like you said, it's different. It's not, doesn't have a number tied to it. It could be, for
Yeah.
me, I could just have a really amazing, out of my full day, having just a really amazing coaching session with somebody, and when I do my coaching sessions,
Yeah.
they're like 2 hours long. So it might have just been, wow, during that time, there was so much that was accomplished, right? Or the light bulb, I saw the light bulb in my client's eyes like go off and go, oh, I can do that. Yeah. That excitement,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
that's success. Also,
Hmm.
success is for me is having those relationships with the people that I love, my wife, our kids, friends, my little dog, you know,
Yeah.
having a good day with my dog is
Yeah.
success to me, right?
Yeah.
All those little things. So it's not this big number of how much you
Yeah.
have in your bank account.
Yeah.
So all of these things that are all these different layers, there's
Hmm.
even digestion. There's
There's environments, there's how you do what kind of a manifestor are you? There's a lot of information
so
in
tell
there.
me about this thing in digestion. What's your digestion? Do you know? What off the
My, if I remember, I think mine's, isn't it hot? Or I might be confusing that with my Ayurvedic chart.
I
That's
have
actually that's part of the four arrows, and I honestly haven't spent a ton of time in each of those four arrows. I've spent most of the
uh,
time in kind of the specific manifestor or non-specific manifestor because with a lot with my clients, it's really good information to have.
I
But
have
yeah, I think
I
there's like
have
hot.
consecutive under my digestion.
Ah.
And I have a feeling because as I've gotten, because when you're 20 you can eat anything, but I
Really?
find that when I'm like now in my early 60s, it's like I know what works and I know what doesn't work, and I know what my system does not do well with.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop
Yeah.
me from not having a glass of
Right.
wine,
It's
right?
like I know I'm lactose intolerant. Does that stop
I
me from having cheese?
I
No, I
know
just know.
I know I shouldn't have the gluten, but that sourdough bread is really yummy
Oh,
toasted with some
yeah,
butter, those kind of
right.
things, right? But
Yeah.
so what I want to convey to, so it's not just about your career or your business, but it's
No.
about your whole life. It's
Yeah.
about your relationships. It's how you
Oh,
function best
parenting. I
in
use it in my
relation parenting.
parenting. And yeah, like parenting has been massive for me. I have a 14-year-old son who's diagnosed as autistic at the age of 4. Now it's ADHD. He was diagnosed with ADHD, just ADHD and autism 2 years ago. And for me to see his charts and to be able to parent him and guide him that's best for him, not what I think is best for him, like the way that we were probably parented,
Right.
has been able to alleviate so much stress on me. It's still stressful because parenting is always stressful, but to be able to really understand for him the why behind his how, and to
Mm.
show him that why. I'd be like, no, 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 you're not weird. I mean, you are, but in a good way. Like it's
Right.
here's how this is how you're weird, and this is how, natural this is. So because this is part of you, how do you just not accept it, but celebrate it and just enjoy the fact that for him, he has to constantly experiment, one as an autistic person, and two as what we call a line 3 in one of your profiles, which is a martyr. The thing is, so every type has, or every person has an authority that's connected to a different chakra. To him, it's splenic, which means he makes decisions very impulsively. That's just the way he's designed. So when he cannot punish himself for making impulsive decisions, and just understanding that that's part of the experiment, that he needs to get more information so he can make another decision, it just alleviates a lot of
Yeah.
that like what is wrong with me kind
Feeling
of
that you're
deal.
wrong, feeling that, yeah,
Yeah, I'm not
which
normal, or
already
I'm not
is,
typical, or yeah.
which already for autistic, we have a child that's autistic, and so much of it is feeling so lonely and so different and having to wear a
Yeah.
masking, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to be fitting in, and when I say masking, trying to, to pretend to be neurotypical or whatever in
Yeah.
this neurotypical world, which this world is crazy. So don't try and fit in.
No.
It's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Just be your adorable little self.
Do yourself a favor. Just be your good weird self.
Yes. But it's so, it can be so hard. And then on
Yeah.
top of it, trying to be, you know, for your son trying to be a projector, it's not going to work, and so they're going to feel like
No.
a failure, and that is so internalized, and oh my gosh. So this is a great tool for parents to get the
Oh, it's
charts
great. Yeah.
to get the
Oh
charts
gosh,
done
yeah.
for their
Parents,
kids.
relationships, your partners. I mean, you said you know your wives. I know my
She's
partners. I know my parents. I know anybody who feels comfortable enough to give me their birthday, time, and location. I have their chart. And it's not always because they want to have a reading with me. It's just good information for me to have. Like my best friends, I have theirs. So I really, truly do know what's the best way to support them through rough moments, or to hold space for them when they want, when they're having or going through something. And so it just gives you, it's just every single facet of your life, your business, your relationships. Human design just helps you navigate that as yourself, but also protecting yourself, not in a like a traumatic way, or in a traumatized way, but in a way that you can just understand your role and your strengths, and the way that you can be with somebody, ask for what you want, communicate with people. Communication is huge inside of human design. It just really helps you honor who you are and
yes,
know
yes.
how you can best hold space and be there for others while still taking care of yourself.
That's key. I think that's really key, because one of my personality traits too is that I know, for me, I internalize a lot of emotion
Hmm.
things. Okay. Some people say stuffing it down. I don't. I like to mull it over. So I need time to process things. I'm not one of those reactionary people, right?
Are you a single
Something,
definition?
let me just take a look in my chart
Oh.
here. Excuse me. What am I? Single definition.
Yep, there it is. Yep,
Yeah,
yep, yep,
yeah.
yep.
Yeah. No, I need the time to process. Slow down.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not reactive. I'm not one of those
yep,
people. And so it's so validating.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm a
I
single
want to, like,
definition too, and I'm the exact same way.
I
Yep.
want to wave this around and go, see, I processed those traumas from childhood very well. Thank you.
I just need the time.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, Mel, this is so exciting, and I know I can feel our listeners. I can hear them go, "I want to know more. I want to find out more," and I would love to tell them to seek out you because I know you, I trust you, I love you,
Thank
and
you.
I know that your heart is so big, and so this is a great way for people to be introduced, I think, to human design.
Yeah.
So the you have something very, very cool for people that is a great way for them to get introduced to it. Do you not?
I do. So I love to offer 30-minute complimentary virtual coffees. It's not a sales pitch, it's not anything but just a safe space for you to process, ask me questions, and for us to spend a little bit of time together to see how I can truly best support you. And you can schedule one of those at virtualcoffeewithmel.com.
I love that. And from a marketing standpoint, very good with the virtual
Thank you.
marketing. Got the domain. I love it.
I try.
And also, of course, Mel has a great website that you should check out because it talks about all of the different services she provides. You can do that by going to melmcsherry.com.
And you can
Okay.
navigate from there. You can
You
choose
can
your own
navigate.
adventure.
You're smart, especially if you're a projector.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll put links. I'll put those links in the show notes so you get I got a link in there
Beautiful.
for your website, your official website, and then put the link in there for that beautiful complimentary a 30-minute chat. I'll put that in the show notes as well, and people can reach out to you. I just think you're so cool, lady. You're welcome
Same.
any time back on the show. And I know you're going to be speaking at my mastermind that I have. Whatever I can do to work with you and to support you, I am there. So 100%.
Thank you.
So thank you
I
again,
appreciate you.
Mel McSherry. Awesome, awesome human being and human design expert. I'm just gonna just put that on you. And
Perfect.
thank you, wonderful listeners and viewers. If you're watching this on YouTube, we're waving at you. Hello. This has been a great time with you. And if you want more information about this podcast, about all the other goodies, the stuff that I do, the coaching, the mastermind. If you wanted to be a member of the mastermind, you have to be a very cool chick, okay? So if you want that information, you can go to expertauthoritycoach.com. Super easy. And all over that page are links. If you wanted to have a chat with myself, you can book that in. You can book it in today and talk to me tomorrow if you like. But you can go to that website, expertauthoritycoach.com. That link will be in the show notes as well. Okay, until next time, take care and keep expanding your expert authority and dive into your human design. You're going to be blown away. I promise. All right. Bye, y'all.